Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. Before we start today's video, just a quick tip for you guys for the Invasion of the Devourer timeline quest. You have to craft, after you finish the other timelines, you have to craft the Power Cosmic Absorber. You have to craft it. It will stay in your inventory, and that will unlock, once you get to 82% completion, that will unlock this third track here. After you take the, I believe it's the Busan route, not the Paris route. Take the Busan route, you get down here, and then it'll unlock automatically as soon as you craft the Power Cosmic Absorber. You don't even need to be here. You could be somewhere else on the track. But anyways, when you get back to the beginning, you'll go through, you'll choose Busan, you'll get all the way down, and then you'll choose Galactus, and you'll go through it. And you'll get to 100%, you'll get your CTP, etc. For those of you who are repeating it, I advise, first of all, to choose Busan. Paris just sucks. And then from here, the Destroyer one is okay. You get a little bit of Godstones, but the Silver Surfer line is actually way better because you get a bunch of extra cosmic, what is this called? Eternal Flame. You get an extra 120 of this every time you do that route. So if you do that route like 2-3 times, you can farm hundreds of Eternal Flame, which are pretty limited if you don't purchase the packs. And so yeah, that's my advice personally, and that's what I'm going to be doing myself as well. Now it's time to discuss the biggest piece of shit in the room, the Fantastic Four. They're absolutely terrible. We've got a mighty CTP of Conquest with a 6-star artifact on Mr. Fantastic with 17 Odins. This is not a bad build besides not having a brilliant CTP. I'm rank 130. For his wife, I have the following. We've got, okay, we've got 9 Odin's Blessings, not quite as good. 5-star artifact, brilliant CTP. It's not the best roll, but I'm rank 240. And they're just trash for PvP, man. And I'm not talking about regular PvP. I'm talking about them juiced to the tits, okay? Juiced to the absolute limit in Otherworld battle. In other words, it will literally never get better for the Fantastic Four than right now. And they're still not good enough. This is absolute insanity by the developers. This is garbage. I don't know what Marvel is smoking. I don't know who over there, Dakota, is completely asleep at the wheel. He's busy. He's distracted. Whatever. I don't know. He's taking a look at Marvel Mystic Mayhem. He's taking a look at Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Listen, I'm happy for you guys that other Marvel games are coming out. I understand Marvel Future Fight is an old game. I understand there's a lot to understand and there's a lot to go through. I'm not expecting you guys to move mountains here, but you have to. The quality control has to be better than this, man. Marvel is allowing their IP updates to be disrespected. Look at this. We've already gone through this, but let's just go through it again just to reiterate the point. The top ranked player is not using the Fantastic Four, despite 2 out of the 3 buffs benefiting the Fantastic Four. You have one explicitly buffing just the Fantastic Four, and then you have one for heroes. On top of the fact that we have a bunch of heroes here banned: Sentry, Wolverine, Atom, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, Cersei, Quicksilver. Sure, I mean, Invisible Woman is debuffed. Oh no! Even if Invisible Woman wasn't debuffed, they would not be being used. Vincenzo happens to be the second rank player, and he is using 3 out of 5 members of the Fantastic Four, but everybody else is choosing to use. Okay, this guy's also using the Fantastic Four, but otherwise, they're choosing to use Deadpool. They're choosing to use Magic. They're choosing to use... okay, this guy also has a Fantastic Four. Okay. But anyways, a lot of them are using, villains. They're even using villains like Carnage, Doom, Apocalypse, because the results speak for themselves. These characters are just not good enough to even pivot, even for massive whales. We're talking about massive whales who, have everybody ranked up and maxed out anyways. So my win record here, you can see on attack, is pretty much like 50-50. It's maybe a little bit more than 50-50. But we're attacking some of the higher end players, and we're not using a Fantastic Four team. We're absolutely not. So we're gonna switch over to a Fantastic Four team because there's like this is what boggles my mind. What conversation did the devs have? Okay, we're gonna release these characters' uniforms for the movie 1 year after releasing other uniforms for these characters. So we intentionally chose to milk the shit out of the Fantastic Four, and we're not even gonna make them that much better. And they don't even have to, like, it's not like they were at the top anyways. It's not like Mr. Fantastic was a top tier character. So what are you guys scared of? It just doesn't make any sense, dude. You can't even give her iframe ignore? Guys, you guys invented iframe ignore like 7 years ago. This is not a new ability. It's not. This shit's been in the game for time. You just gave Bishop iframe ignore. What happened? You couldn't afford it? You ran out of iframe ignores? You went to the iframe ignore store and there wasn't enough? Like, this is completely bogus, man. And again, it's like, they're never gonna get better than this. They're never gonna get better than this. If anything, they're gonna get worse. They're gonna get worse for a couple of reasons. One, they're gonna get worse because this effect is gonna go away in 21 days. That's like kind of the first obvious thing, right? The second thing is they're gonna get worse because other characters are going to come out who are better. So like, what are we talking about here? Right? Like, I'm not even going to use all 5 members. I'm going to use 3. Okay? Because there's just no point. And you're forced to use Franklin, the freakish child, because otherwise the Fantastic Four are just straight up garbage. Straight up garbage. Like, let's not get it twisted. Okay, it'll turn blue if you get it twisted, but let's not get it twisted. If you don't use Franklin, the Fantastic Four are trash. They're trash for PvP, and they've been given the mandate of heaven, and they're still trash. So you have to get Franklin, frankly, and then you have to get his artifact. You have to, otherwise it's no good. Okay, in this case, it comes down to a mirror match. Okay, that's not bad, to be honest. This is a pretty good result. But man, like, this is as good as it gets. You would think that with all of those buffs, that if you run a full Fantastic Four team, you probably win most of your matches. Like, I don't know. Would that be such a hard thing or such a bad thing? Like, right? It's like, okay, hey guys, we're doing this Fantastic Four update. So for the next month, if you use the Fantastic Four in this one game mode, there are 4 PvP game modes, by the way. 4. You only get to use the Fantastic Four in one of them. And if you use them in one of these game modes, you're going to have a good time. They didn't even want, I'd rather look at Thor, to be honest. They didn't even want to give players that much. Right? They didn't even want to give players that much. The other 3 game modes, Timeline Battle, Alliance Conquest, Team Battle Arena. Bro, you can't use the Fantastic Four. They're getting dumped on. They are human toilets getting dumped on. And I say that knowing that Reed can literally stretch himself into the shape of a toilet. Right? What's so fantastic about that? Absolutely nothing, man. Where's Marvel, bro? Where's Danny Koo? Where are these guys at, man? Asleep at the wheel. Right? Listen, I understand you guys have more important things to do. I understand that the skins in Marvel Rivals take a long time to authenticate. Listen, I understand. We all have needs. And the need that I have is to play a game with some semblance of respect for its player base. And with these Fantastic Four uniforms, there's no respect, bro. We're about to get aced. We're about to get aced by a Deadpool uniform that is a year old. No, 2 years old. And a Magic uniform that's like 5-6 months old. Okay, we ended up losing. We didn't get aced. But man, what the dog shit is. What the dog shit is. This is terrible, bro. This is terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. And yeah. And there's really some simple options. There's really some simple solutions. Of course, one of the simple solutions is to you know, buff these characters. Hey guys, we're gonna be giving Mr. Fantastic like an extra 5% base stats. Whoa, you know, insane idea. Wow, crazy. He doesn't even need that much. He just needs like 5 to 10% more attack, defense, HP, and he could probably do some damage. Okay, guys, we're gonna give Sue iframe ignore. Just give her one line of text. Give her one ability that she should have. She can literally turn invisible. That's literally her ability, is to turn invisible, which makes her good at hitting enemies who don't know what's going on, aka iframe ignore. It's literally thematic to the character. Okay, it's like not giving Kitty Pryde in iframe ignore. It doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, and then the third thing that I actually have rarely brought up, but I actually think needs to be said now. It wasn't said a year ago because the character had just come out, but Franklin needs a tier 4. Like a fat kid needs cake, okay? Badly. Okay? Picture this. Franklin is the curly-haired kid in Matilda, and his tier 4 is that chocolate cake that the strong lady makes him eat in front of everybody. And we're the kids cheering him on. Come on, you can do it. Eat the cake. Yay! And he's just slamming that thing back. If you haven't seen Matilda, it's a fantastic movie. You should watch it. Shout out Danny DeVito. But that's what we need. That's what needs to happen in Marvel Future Fight. Frankly, honestly, as lazy as the devs are, probably Franklin getting tier 4 fixes the majority of the problems, because he will finally become a threat. Now they need to like buff his kit. Like, this is, guys, let's not get it, I'm gonna say it again, let's not get it twisted. They need to make him good. Look, he's getting zeroed instantly. He gets zeroed instantly. Sue has 5% of her base stats. She's missing 95% of her stats, and she lasts longer than Franklin. So as much as I enjoy watching him get ragdolled, because he's a little, you know, Dennis the Menace, so to speak, he needs a tier 4. He needs a tier 4, and he needs a really good tier 4. And he needs a really good uniform, and he needs iframe ignore, yada yada yada, etc, etc, etc. Because if you as the devs are going to decide, okay, this Fantastic Four team is not going to work at all under any circumstances for PvP unless you have this little shrimp, then you have to make the shrimp good. You have to make the shrimp like passable. He doesn't have to be good, he has to be passable. He's getting instantly zeroed on the first skill, and then he's dead. It's bananas. He's useless. Like, he's literally just there for the artifact. And I'm not even going to get into the fact that we got milked on the artifact. I'm not going to get into the fact that the immortality is only 2 to 4 seconds when it should be 4 to 7 seconds. I'm not even going to get started on that one. No. You know, I just, man, I listen, I want the I'm here because I want to use the Fantastic Four. Players want to use these characters, and they can't because you made them so bad. You made them so bad. Why did you make them so bad? I'm not winning because of the Fantastic Four. I'm winning because I have a brilliant Conquest on Deadpool, and I have a brilliant Greed on Magic. Like, I have good builds on good characters who individually have immortality because their artifacts are good, right? Guys, think about this. We could have lived in a world where they gave Sue a revive artifact like Apocalypse, which they gave last year when they reworked Apocalypse, and they gave Reed the immortality artifact, which they gave Magic, and they gave Deadpool, and they gave crap characters like Sabretooth. Why does Sabretooth get immortality and Mr. Fantastic doesn't? Mr. Fantastic's a native tier 2 Epic Quest character. What's the deal? He fits the same bill as Deadpool. Why can't he get immortality? No. You had to sell us immortality through Franklin, who's a little clown, and he's not even good. So they have to make Franklin good. Man, this is just whatever. This is painful. 3 wins, 5 defeats. And this is as good as they will get. And I know you can say, oh, well, but Alex, you don't have a brilliant CTP on Mr. Fantastic, and you don't have and Sue is debuffed right now. Listen what's going to happen after today's reset. Sue is going to get undebuffed because they're going to shuffle characters around. Guess who's going to get debuffed? Mr. Fantastic. Guess who's not going to be debuffed? Maybe Wolverine or Adam or someone like that. And then they're going to go back into the teams. And then no one's going to be using the Fantastic Four again for another week. This is hilarity. This is so incompetent. How do you look at this as a game developer and think this is fun? It's not fun. It's stupid. And if I'm having a bad time, if top players are choosing to avoid this garbage and they're not having a good time, then what happens to everybody else who's further down the line? Right? So that's my issue. I don't need to have a max build on these characters, because if I can't make it work, then the 95% of players who have less stats, lesser cards, lesser swords, etc., who aren't whales, who can't spend thousands of dollars, they're going to have an even worse time. And that's who it's more important for. The average player right now should be able to rock up with their Fantastic Four team with a couple of tier 4s, and they should be able to have a good time in this one game mode for 1 month. That's the promise, right? That's what you guys said. And you failed completely, utterly, horrifically failed. And it's just 1 month. You're tier 4ing these characters for a limited time. It just makes no sense, man. And it's probably indicative of how trash the movie is, but I'm not going to get into all that. I'll see the movie tomorrow, or today? Tomorrow. And find out for myself. Anyways, guys, the Fantastic Four are hideously garbage. It's insane, man. It's really sad. And, yeah. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. If the devs want to keep making trash characters, this is what's going to happen. We're just going to keep complaining. Like, they are stupid if they think that we're just going to stop complaining. Right? They are stupid. They're stupid or they're lazy. It's one or the other. Take your pick. Anyways, guys, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the shit-tastic 4. Flush the toilet, please. Thanks for watching. Take care.